And we're live.
Mm-hmm.
We're live. All right, we're back for Is It That Bad episode. I believe this is episode 3. I could be wrong. But Is It That Bad? We're talking some Twins of Evil legend. Okay, before we get on into the movie, Ledge, my dear, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father. It's good to be a dad. You know, I've been a dad a real long time. I guess almost, 16 years. I think a little over 16. We've had some good times, some good rhymes. And of course, Mark, I know you've been a dad for a long time of all those fur babies at your house
all those
as
fur
well.
babies. We had a couple.
Yep.
Mark's wearing his cat dad shirt.
Mm-hmm. He's got best cat dad ever. From, of course, Midnighter, Jean Grey, and your classic Midnighter, Jean Grey, and your classic Midnighter, Jean Grey,
and Mayhem.
Mayhem, that's right, the secret of Mayhem, the one that's in the corner.
Mayhem always wants to be all secretive, but yeah, she's right there.
And of course, there's Odin's son, the classic dog, Odin.
So before we get on into the movie, Chris Barrett is complaining, saying that the twins, neither one was a doctor, lawyer, hooker. I'm sorry, this isn't Velocipaster, but I will tell you, you did get to see one of the twins' set of twins, if that makes it any better. You didn't get to see that in Velocipaster. You at least got to see boobs in this.
Yep. You gotta love it. The twins. Twins with their own set of twins. I mean, you can't beat Twins of Evil. It was just one of those movies I saw on Shudder, like on the front page. I was like, you know what? That's the movie I want to choose. I want to open it up with some Twins of Evil. And, you know, classic. Is it that bad? Kat, overall, just looking back, shit, I liked the movie. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Is it that bad? Nah, not really. It was a fun movie. So, I mean, let's just dive right into it. So, when we first get introduced to Maria and Frida, apparently they've just lost their parents, and they're now taken into the guardianship of their aunt and uncle. Their uncle, he's big into everything like witch hunting, you know, anything that has to do with like Satan worship, you know, and burning people at the stake, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just does that whenever. And the first time he's introduced to these girls, it's not, oh, welcome into my home, or, you know, sorry for your loss, anything like that. He's criticizing them because they're not still wearing black. He's like, it's only been a month and already no longer wearing black. It's like, dude, okay, women back then had a shelf life, okay? And you look at these twins, yes, they were very pretty, but when you hit into your 20s, you get into the part where your shelf life's starting to wear out back then, okay? People didn't live very long back then. And you hit into your teens, and you weren't married at that point, at that age, you know.
Yeah, Uncle
you might end up a spinster. But, I mean, the girls had to impress someone.
Uncle Gustav was so damn mean, and just, even the music changed tone during it. And, of course, Uncle Gustav, the leader of the Christian pilgrim guys that burn every woman they see.
Yeah, I think guy, they just looked for pretty girls.
Pretty young girls, like, that were unmarried, and they just burned them all. And it played by old Peter Cushing, you know, classic actor from those. This was one of those Hammer films. And, man, you could just tell that kind of early 70s style, just getting into the color stuff, but very kind of late 60s, early 70s-esque. And I loved it. Did you like the backgrounds and the wagon and the time period and stuff?
I think it was really well done. I was actually, I watched this and I thought they just used one actress, but I was actually surprised they did use real sisters in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mary and Madeleine Cullinson. So, huge shout out to Mary and Madeleine Cullinson.
The twins.
AKA Maria and Frida. You know, I don't know what their actual last name is in this movie, but all I know is I practiced Count Konstein,
Mhm.
because that is how they pronounce this guy's name the entire time, is Konstein.
Is it really?
Yes.
You know what was funny is the twins, when they made this movie, they're from Malta, and they still had that Malta accent, and it just sounded pretty perfect for a vampire film like this, because the way they said it, Konstein,
Konstein.
like some German film or something.
Konstein.
Oh God.
Oh,
That was
dude.
good. I'm so
Dude.
hungry.
Okay. I'm go get something else.
I'll give me
all
a
good.
second.
Our Count Karnstein was played by this guy named Damian Thomas, and he was born in Egypt in 1942. But anyway, the funny thing about him was he looked pretty much like Knights of Old, our good friend Knights of Old from Golden Guys, or kind of like a Jimmy Fallon type. I don't know. He was just somewhere in between that look. But
Nice.
I
freaking
could see
really, he was really into the occult and conjuring up Satan, because that's what all of his ancestors did. You know, they were, conjuring up Satan, the Church of Satan, that kind of stuff, the basics. And then for I don't know, now this is where it gets really freaky, and I'm hoping maybe it was his wife or whatever. So he kills, they get a virgin in there, and he kills this virgin because the other people were too scared to do it or whatever. And so he
Yeah.
legit just stabs this chick. And then Satan grants him like this. I don't know if that was his old wife or if that was a relative. I was like, oh my God, maybe it was like some kind of relative. They went Arkansas in this too. But
Just
no, it
making
was
out with that chick. Yeah.
in the chick. It was the one that converted him to a vampire. But it was weird, Cat, because these vampires, it was daytime. They were just chilling. You know what I mean? But that's how it goes sometimes,
All right. So first off, let's check the chat real quick. Chris Barrett dropping some knowledge on us. Chris Barrett says they were actually the first identical twins to be Playboy Playmates. So
wow.
awesome. And Fish Tropic, huge shout out to our boy Fish Tropic.
Nope.
It's like, do you have it playing in the background? No, I was playing it earlier. This is a fun movie, Fish Tropic. If you have a chance to watch Twins of Evil, I would highly suggest it. Legend, thank you for the recommendation on this. This was a lot of fun, actually.
Damn good movie. The gals look pretty attractive in their little photo. I knew it had Peter Cushing in it. Had to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Did Mark get to watch it all with you tonight?
Oh, yeah. He's making pasta right now, apparently. So, Mark,
What?
did you like the movie?
Yes, they're twins.
He said, yes, there were twins.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he had to say was, yes, there were twins.
No, it was a movie. Definitely could tell it was excited.
Oh, okay. And
It was awesome.
he's like, yeah, you can definitely tell it was slightly dated, but it was
Mhm.
awesome. I'll tell you right now. So we get through the whole story and everything, and Frida has been introduced to some of the men in town. And of course, I mean, a lot of people can't tell Maria or Frida apart, but Frida's the bad girl. Frida is the one with the eyes that's always looking for an angle, and all the guys are like, ooh, I want to meet Frida. I want to hang out with Frida. And Count Konstein hears about Uncle Gustav's hot little nieces. And of
Mhm.
course, he's got to introduce himself, and he meets Frida, and he invites her out into the woods in the middle of the night to come meet him. And, Frida, not being a good sister, goes to meet Count Konstein and becomes a vampire. And look, can we just talk a little bit about how mean Frida is
Mhm.
to Maria?
Ooh, yeah,
So-
yeah. That
okay,
she
so-
was pretty mean.
They're identical twins. Every set of identical twins I've ever known have always been like inseparable. I've never met a set of identical twins that act like the twins in this film. In my own personal life, they've always been inseparable. They've always been very protective of each other.
Mhm.
This one, like, dude, Frida would like throw Maria in front of a car. Well, I mean, there weren't cars in this time period, but like a horse-drawn wagon or something, if there was like raging horses coming to protect herself. And it's like, dude, Maria did a lot to protect you. She even took a whip for her, apparently.
The more Frida hung out with the Count, the more she became like him, just pure evil. Or you never know. I mean, hey man, it's just how they rock and roll with Satan. That's how they do it. They sometimes they got slapped to get that slap, remember?
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, that was really weird too, because she was wanting to go out and meet the Count and everything, but damn, you got to be like treating your sister like that. Oh my god!
And like she even like grabbed her by the throat a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's your sister.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time she's like, I won't be controlled by Uncle Gustav. I'm gonna find something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, good luck.
Dude, Gustav, man, and dude, what did you think also about some of the gore? Like, because the movie's kind of tame, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden, sometimes you get some good gore in there.
Like so, spoiler, but Frida,
Mm-hmm.
the head chopping scene, that was slightly impressive, honestly, for like the time period that this film was put out, and for like you said, as tame as this film was, the majority of like the vampire scenes we got in this, we just saw bite marks and like a little bit of blood, or like a little bit of blood on like the side of the mouth or something. But actually seeing the head get chopped off, like clear cut chopped off, was pretty impressive.
I was like, god damn. Yeah, and then there's some of the stabbings, like when I think it was Jimenez or whatever, the black bodyguard guy. I think it was Joaquin or Joaquin or something like that. He went out there, and the Count was like, okay, you're our only line of defense. You got to go out there. And dude, Joaquin went out there, freaking stabbed he took the end of like a hot torch and just whacked some dude in the face with it and burnt his whole eyeball socket. And then another one was this Joaquin guy took the axe and just whacked some dude in the head with it and split him right down the skull. I like, damn. And then finally, though, the angry, the Christian Pilgrim guys, they all overtook the Joaquin guy or whatever. But Joaquin or whatever, he was holding his own out there.
Yep. I like it because he wanted to come with me. He's like, no. He's like, you will hold them back. Like, okay, dude, you're not a vampire. You have to stay here and die for us.
And the storyline was just it was really just a simple storyline that really, it really got me pissed off for some of my Christian relatives. Hopefully they weren't all like that. Hopefully there was some better ones. But damn it, if they weren't just killing all the women and burning them. And the thing was, later on, Anton, the schoolmaster guy who runs the school, him and his sister, they run the school. And his sister, of course, he tried to send sister away, but gone too soon. One of the vamps got her. But he told Uncle Gustav about vampires and vampirism. He says the only way to kill them is a stake through the heart, or if you decapitate them. And because at first he was just going to burn. Well, actually, he was going to burn Maria. Because he did them. They got the confusion. They pulled them secrets.
Yep.
We'll get to that part. But you find out that fire is not going to hurt the evil vampire people.
So, I kind of have to be a little impressed. So, like, we've talked a little bit about Uncle Gustav and like kind of how much of a dick he is. No offense, but then what we haven't talked about is Gustav's wife.
Oh yeah,
so
about her.
There's a scene where they've taken Frida, they know she's a vampire or whatever, she's locked in a cell. Gustav comes for Maria. He goes to his own house. He's gonna go pull her from her bed when she's asleep, and his wife just gets right in front of that doorway and tells him, "You're not touching that child." Like,
it was the first time she put him in his place.
She put him in his place. She stepped up for her niece, and she told him no. She's like, Maria's a good girl. You're not touching Maria. She's like, I could believe anything of Frida, but not my Maria. And she tells him that she's upstairs asleep, clutching a cross, and you see her and she's holding that cross while she's asleep. It's like, dude, she's not a vampire. She's not a vampire. But, you know, it doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot to you know, sway future events where they do the whole twin switcheroo later on.
Mm-hmm. It's classic. Yeah, she's up there, and old Count and Frida, they're basically holding up in the tower, and now the little council of Christian pilgrims, or I don't know what you call them. They were kind of badass. It kind of reminded me of like an old Western gang too, like a real like a religious Christian burn them all gang. And
Pretty girl, burn them.
They all voted. They were like, you know, guilty. And finally, old Uncle came in. He came in late to the meeting because, of course, he was trying to check on Maria. But he finally got to the meeting, and all of them voted guilty. And he was just said, "Let's get her," or, you know, it's time to burn her. So there they go. And then before he left, or almost all of them left, when Anton came in and reminded him, "Hey, all you men got to remember, you got to sharpen your damn, you know, ends of your axes or your stakes or your staffs or whatever the hell you got. Sharpen that shit, or take some axes or some cutting instruments." And of course, that's when they invade the castle, and Frida, of course, is in there. The Count's in there. They send old Joachim out there to do some action. He was whipping that ass a little before they took him, but they had to escape through some underground tunnels. And they finally made it through these tunnels to this pathway to where they thought they had a clean getaway. So the Count, he sends Frida out first, you know, to kind of like, you know, be a decoy or whatever, just in case. And Frida runs out there and she don't see it coming. And old freaking Uncle takes that big old axe weapon or that sword. It just freaking cuts the head off. The head comes off. You see like this, like line, like a bloodline splash. I mean, that shit looked pretty cool.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. I used to, you know, I'm an OG horror guy, and I've seen some good toxic videos, some good blood effects, some bad blood effects. That damn thing looked pretty good. Now, when he was holding the head, I could totally see fake ass head, but if you just look at it real quick, that's some scary ass stuff, huh, Kat?
Yes. I'll say if they just focused on him holding the hair and less on the actual like head itself, they just showed like the back of it. Yeah. I think it would have looked way more realistic personally. But yes, the initial like head removal and the blood splatter and everything, it looked pretty decent. That was actually one of my favorite out of the gore effects in this movie. And it's just like, dude, can we also talk about the quick change fangs in this?
Oh, yeah.
Whenever the vampire's not upset or like whatever, and they go like from a smile and it's like bangs. It's instantly.
Pretty classic, yeah. Real
like,
classic.
How quick does it take to turn into a vampire? Because in this film, it's basically 2 seconds. You make out with the vampire for 2 seconds and you're a vampire. That's how you turn into a vampire, according to this movie. This
one, very quick transitions. And what was always interesting, and the girl, the council broad, you know, who he brought back from life during the whole satanic ritual to make love with her. When she turned him, they did it in front of a mirror. When he turned Frida, they did it in front of the mirror because they wanted to see that, oh, you can't be seen now in a mirror effect. I thought that was kind of classic. Yeah, that was classic. And again with Maria feels something's wrong with her sister, so she's also in on the hunt. You know, she's trying to go down there and help her sister. Remember, Kat? She got something just happened to my sister.
Something's wrong with Frida. Like she just felt that pain and she's grabbed her neck. She's like, I need to find Frida. Something's wrong with Frida.
They had that twin gimmick where even when Frida initially got bit by the Count, even Maria felt it in her bed and everything like that. And it's kind of like those two twins on G.I. Joe. I can't remember their name, but whenever you hit one of them, the other one felt pain, you know. We got Comic Book Gallery. The CBG is here in the scene. Man, it's great to see Comic Book Gallery. We're talking Comic Book Gallery tonight on Is It That Bad? The Twins of Evil from 1971. one of those classic Hammer films. Low budget, but still pretty damn decent. I mean, I love these kind of things that are in the 70s. Hammer Films was probably the one that led the league in doing films like this, but also, if you're a Dark Shadows fan, Dan Curtis. He did some really cool movies like this too, that were pretty scary. That had our good friend Jack Palance as Dracula in one of them. But I may save that one for future episodes of Is It That Bad? But yeah, this is a great movie, and it's on Shudder, the streaming service that streams all your favorite horror stuff. The original series on Shudder. Karen, you told me about Shudder. What do you got to tell to the fans out there? They need to get on that Shudder.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're a fan of B-rate horror movies, if you're a fan of, they're not going to have some of your more expensive horror movies that are available on every other random streaming platform. Everyone's seen the Michael Myers. They've seen the Freddy Kruegers. They've seen the Chuckies. You've seen the Jason Voorhees. But have you seen the Leslie Vernons? Have you seen the Twins of Evil? Have you seen the American Marys? Have you seen The Pit?
The Pit, yeah.
That's coming to
That's
that.
A classic.
There's a lot of obscure horror that's thrown into this platform. There's a lot of things that were blacklisted in Hollywood throughout years. There's things that people have attempted to stop the release of that are available on Shudder as exclusives. There's a lot of really good exclusive content here on Shudders. Not just some of the films, but some of the series. There's even some podcasts here on Shudder that are really fantastic. I really loved the Video Palace when that was coming out, as well as I think it's like Midnight. What is it? Midnight Madness or Midnight Massacre? I don't know. It's some kind of like. It's a podcast
like
that's on here, that's on Shudder and everything, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that is
we also
cool.
have Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In.
Last Drive-In, yeah.
Which fantastic. We have Creep Show, brand new Shudder exclusive, brand new Creep Show series. We got Psycho Gorman, one of my favorite Slacks. Yes, Killer Blue Jeans, aka Slacks. Yes.
Killer! Oh my God.
I'm just gonna go real quick through some of my watch list. Huge shout out to our boy Mark Patton, but Scream Queen.
Yep.
His film,
documentary film,
documentary is actually available on Shudder.
Oh, okay.
As a Shudder exclusive, so
Damn.
Huge shout out there. We've got Tammy and the T-Rex, the Gore Cut. It's called Darkest Night. It's a podcast experience. Darkest Night.
That's freaking cool.
But dude, there's so many fantastic things available on Shudder. I would highly suggest it. There's new stuff, there's old stuff. There's stuff for everyone. Just throw it in there and just kind of look around. There's things I wasn't even aware of before, joining the Shudder streaming platform. One of the new ones I'm really excited about is A Hidden Gem by George A. Romero that was never actually released until a little while ago, and it's just been made available mainstream by Shudder. It's called The Amusement Park.
Amusement Park. Yeah.
So Amusement Park was apparently supposed to be a PSA that was made for TV.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely funded by a church, and it's about the abuse of the elderly and ageism and everything like that. But apparently, the church aren't really held in high esteem in this film, and the church kind of tried to stop the release of it. And it's one of those things that I'm excited to see what this actual film is, because George A. Romero.
I am too. I want to say either Seawood 19 or good old Chad watched it, and they said it was pretty interesting. So definitely, if y'all haven't seen it yet, make sure you go take a little trip to the amusement park. Yeah. Speaking of Seawood, Cat Ran, we got him in the chat. He goes,
Oh yeah.
"Hey yo, hey yo,
Hey yo.
hey, we got comics are fun." Sticks Boy 73 in the house. Fans, you're just coming in on Twins of Evil. We're kind of getting near the end of the storyline, but there's still some more action to discuss. Frida's out of the picture. She's lost her head. Peter Cushing took her down as about as fast as he blew a hole in Alderaan. I said, shit. Death Star antidotes, people. Sorry. Peter Cushing. But anyway, what was he managed to grab and snatch Maria. And I can't remember. Yeah, I guess he got Maria somehow, as Maria went one way to go after the sister had already died. Yep. And that's where she went. Of course, the sister wasn't there because Peter Cushing said, hey, take my niece to the burial or the church or wherever. But old Cushing, I think he gave a little pray over the body and everything because he knew when the head was cut off, she would be back to her repented or back to being good again, you know. Or that's what he believed. But yeah, let's just go with that for Peter Cushing. But yeah, but she goes after and like against everyone else. She leaves the group. You never leave the big group by yourself. She goes by herself and the Count kidnaps her, Cat. God, what do you think about that?
All right, so the Count, the entire time I'm thinking, okay, so he's just got the other twin. He's just gonna turn her and have a different vampire bride, right? Nope. Frida was the only one he was interested in. Everyone apparently, no one likes Maria because she's a good girl, and they all want the freaky Frida. Like the banner says, Frida gonna get freaky.
Frida gonna get freaky.
Frida gonna get freaky. But he decides he's going to use Frida basically as a human shield in front of all these guys. And he's like, oh, I'll drop her to her death. Da 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 da. It's like, dude.
And he's got her in
what
that
do you think's gonna happen?
He's got that position. He's holding her like this. He's like, I'm going to throw her. And then everyone's like backing away. Do you kind of notice that, Anton? Everyone's like back away. Dude, if they're going to throw her, run the fuck up there and go catch this girl.
It's like, break her fall.
Yeah, it may be 20 feet.
It's not that big a drop.
But yeah.
Just, like you get enough guys there. One of you could either catch her or at the very least break her fall. So she might I don't know, sprain an ankle or a wrist or something. But she won't break her neck.
She's up there, and then all of a sudden, old Peter Cushing, uncle, he finally climbs up the stairs. He's kind of going stealth while, the Count's not paying attention. Old Uncle, God, I'm gonna say Uncle Anton. Now I'm thinking of Swamp Thing, but
Gustav.
Gustav, Peter Cushing. He's up there. He's got an axe. And he's kind of going in because at this time Maria's fainted off to the side, so he's pretty much got the Count up against the wall, and the Count's like, oh, you better aim for the neck. You got to cut right here, fella. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell stupid Cushing was doing, but anyway, he just does a straight shot. It hits the door, and it totally misses. And then all of a sudden, he turns around. I fucked up. I better get out of here. So Cushing turns around, and then Count takes the axe off the door and just, boom, throws it at Cushing, and Cushing gets, hit in the back. I mean, I ain't seen a guy go down like that till Jamie got his ass tossed in the pit by Jessica. Or whatever her name was. But
by his cousin.
Yeah. And
remember, this is Jessica. She's gonna be your playmate. You're gonna be friends.
Right after that, too, Cushing goes down, so you're like, oh shit, this may turn into the bad guys win type movie here. But then all of a sudden, with just out of nowhere, Anton grabs one of the dude's big spears and just throws that sumbitch like a damn javelin throw at the Olympics. He throws that shit and it hits all the way and it nails the vampire right in the middle. He just, he goes down. And then, of course, Anton rescues Maria. But damn, what a throw. What do you think about old Anton's throw there?
Anton, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Anton was impressive there. But Anton is what I like to call a flipper.
Yeah, because you know
Because
who he liked first, did you?
The entire movie, he's going on and on about how perfect Frida is.
Frida.
How she's a mystery. All these things about Frida, he can tell them apart. You know, all this stuff. And then he finds out Frida's got fangs. And he's like, nah, Maria, we need to save Maria. And it's like, dude, you flipped real quick on Frida to Maria.
He went team Maria pretty quick, did he?
Team Maria. Maria doesn't have fangs, so he's all about that Maria now.
Mark, were you all about Frida, or were you team Maria?
Team Frida or Team Maria?
Well, like the banner says, Frida gonna get freaky.
Frida gonna get freaky.
Damn, she did.
You could even tell just by like when they're first introduced, her eyes, when she kept like lighting up whenever she was talking about certain things.
And we saw some
dude,
of Frida.
She's a freak. You saw a lot of Frida.
This show's so good. If you're just one little thrill, you know, or maybe a little fun or something. But damn, Frida was Frida, and she was getting freaky in this film.
Frida gonna get freaky.
Oh,
Frida tried to get freaky with a few people in this movie.
Comics are fun. Sticksboy73 says he's going to watch this before I hear y'all's review. I mean, man, I'm really Kat. I thank you so much. I loving this Shudder. Like, I don't watch it that often, but just out of the blue on a whim, you know, or a reference from you, I'll be watching some Shudder. It's pretty damn good too.
Mm-hmm.
Frida, Chris Bear. Frida's a freak in the sheets.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, apparently. Because I'm just saying that count made a point to go back for her.
He really did. Another thing about this movie that was really cool, and I just didn't know how good it was going to be, because I always hear about the Hammer films, and I was trying to find and watch the very first one that had Christopher Lee as the Dracula vampire character, or the first one that had Van Helsing as Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. I want to find those and watch them, but because I've really never seen those all the way through. But one thing I could say about this, and I don't know if it's like this for the other ones, was the musical soundtrack was pretty damn good, especially like when those Christian Pilgrim dudes were like riding in on them horses real hard. And I remember one time, one of their famous burns, you know, innocent poor gal, another innocent poor gal just getting killed for no reason. But anyway, so Peter Cushing, he's like, run her down. And then they're all on their horses, and they just run this damn girl down off the road on their horses. It's like when I was playing Red Dead doing those trampling, when you just trample somebody.
Okay, so when they're first really introduced to Count Constein, yes, I need to say Count Constein again because I really practiced how to say his name after this, and that is how they said his name every time, is Constein.
Yeah, really thick.
But so when you're first introduced to him, he's just screwing around with peasant girls.
Mm-hmm.
He's all about pretty peasant girls, and he calls Gustav and his men out on the fact that they just want to burn pretty peasant girls. And he's like, hey, if you just care about burning pretty peasant girls, here's one. And he throws the girl of the night to them, and they just like ride off. And it's like, dude, she doesn't bat an eyelash. She doesn't ask for him to like anything. She just kind of sits there like, what do I do? Yeah,
she's SOL. And of course, with that individual gal, wasn't she the one that Frida, was that Frida's first kill? Was that girl? And like she bit her like boob, and then it just
because she
went
says
to the next scene.
Well, she insults her.
Yeah,
she insults her because she's like, "What do you think of Frida?" She's like, "She's okay." It's like,
oh yeah, like that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Frida, because Frida's got a you know, she's got that grudge, and you don't want to now.
She got that crazy eyes.
Power. Yeah, she got crazy eyes and the vampire powers. Freaking Frida. But yeah, that movie, the great music. I really want to, you know, investigate more into some of these Hammer films. I know I'd tried it first, but I was pissed because I couldn't find the first one I was looking for. I don't remember what it was, but I want to kind of watch some of those old movies, you know. You know, Mark, we got to get more of Mark. Like, Mark, Did you like the Count? Did you like the twins? Did you like the twins of the twins? Did you like Frida getting freaky? What did you like about the movie?
Well, the Count was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's like one of those like bad guys that is like, he's just like kind of like cocky type character, but he was so funny. He was just like a typical like bad B or C movie villain. Like, I'll just take another villager and put him in the kill him. And then, but then he was cooler though after he got the vampire power. Like before the vampire power, he was just like, oh, I hate this guy. But once he turned into a vampire, it was kind of cool.
Really, Chris?
Mark wasn't able to watch. Oh God, classic Chris Barrett.
Chris, just a little FYI. There's only one actual nude scene in this film.
Yeah, it was just.
There's only one actual one, and it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like, hey, there's boobs. There's no longer boobs. There's a cross.
Yeah, that stuff really didn't like that one. I mean, yeah, they're beautiful twins and everything, but the part was trying to figure out the damn Peter Cushing character, and I think he finally had remorse when he figured out, when Anton came to Maria's rescue when they thought that they were going to burn Frida, but it was really Maria. Because I forgot, I don't know if we talked about this. Like at one point, the evil Count and Frida, they devise a plan. Well, Frida's actually in jail at the time, but Count kidnaps Maria, puts Maria in the jail cell, takes Frida back with him. So everyone thinks that Maria is Frida, which that's how the real Frida got away with the Count. But basically, Anton, reminded him. He says, "Hey, show a cross, put a cross right up to her. It'll prove that she's not a vampire." And he's like, "Put one up to me too, or whatever." And when he did that, I think that was part of the movie where he figured out, fucking hey, I think I've been burning innocent people all along. I think I fucked up here.
Yep, because he hasn't been doing this entire time. He's just been burning girls.
Yeah.
You just pick them up and you burn them.
Yeah, and I think
she looks good. Let's burn her.
And it's like the Count Konstein said earlier. Like, dude, you're just corralling up, pretty young peasant girls.
Yeah, and that what's to say like that, the damn Christian church guy, Pilgrim, whatever you want to call them, the rebel guys, man, they were, let's just say the Proud Boys or some shit. I don't know what they are, but anyway, them dudes was crazy. But yeah, but but hell, vampire got to have their blood too. I mean, if you're gonna burn your victims, vampires gonna make love and bite theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh,
and they got fangs quick.
Yeah, damn.
It was within what, 10 seconds or something?
It was literally like you kissed a vampire. Next thing you know, you had fangs.
Yeah.
It was like 2 seconds later. You had no reflection. You had fangs, full on fangs, and you smiled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're a vampire, you smile a lot, apparently.
And a lot of these kind of movies, and I remember watching the old version of, I think it was called The Scarlet Letter, like these kind of period pieces with these pilgrimy type people, man, they're hardcore. There's some Bible beaters, but man, these old school pilgrims, man, we're burning them at the stakes and all that, man, that was messed up. Damn.
Yeah.
Let's see. But any final thoughts, Kat? I know, the movie itself, I think, ran under an hour and a half. I think it was only like 72 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think it was either just over or just under feature film length.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was a quick movie. It was a fun movie. It was not what I was expecting from the cover.
Mm-hmm.
When it showed like which one is the virgin, which one is the vampire, twins of evil, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be another softcore vampire movie. That's literally what I thought when you're like, hey, I picked twins of evil. I was like, yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of twins in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But we only saw one of those. But yeah, it was actually a really fun movie, and I enjoyed it personally. I thought that a lot of the interactions between Maria and Frida were a lot of fun. Count Constein, because that's just a fun thing to say really fast.
Classic evil villain vampire, you know.
And I mean, like, yeah, some of the gore is pretty tame in this, but I mean, I think it was well done for the time period, and it gave us just enough for an older vampire film. And I mean, I enjoyed it personally. I had fun with this.
Sorry.
For me, was it that bad? No.
No.
I had fun with it. I thought this was actually a good movie.
Yeah, I agree too. I thought this movie was going to suck, but I'm thinking even Brandy would be a big fan of this movie. She
You need
does
to
love
show
a
her
good
this.
vampire. She does love a good vampire movie. And the villain guy is just classic. I mean, Peter Cushing, a villain in his own right, doing his thing, burning them down. But I think he finally figured it out. Maybe he redeemed himself. Hopefully, he'll redeem himself in the end, or go kill Dracula in another one of these Hammer films. But I'm with y'all. It wasn't that bad at all. This was actually a damn good movie, and I'm glad I watched it. It makes me more intrigued to go back and find some more of these Hammer films from the early 70s. And another quick thing about these kind of scenes, these death scenes, they're really quick. They do quick zoom ups. The blood's real vibrant, kind of a little too red, too bright red. But most of the stuff I watched, I grew up on the 80s horror movies. So those are the ones we always got on VHS tape because my mom let us rent anything we wanted. So we got horror movies, all kind of crap. But the 70s way they do the gore in the 80s, it's like a little different. It's a little old school, but it looks like real. To me, it's just more real. The older the gore stuff, the realer it is, because I think the way they do stuff now, CGI, I still like the OG stuff, like Chad's buddy from Pittsburgh there, the guy with the mustache, the FX makeup guy, Savini, Tom
Yes.
Savini or
Yep,
something.
Savini.
Or Rick Baker, a classic who helped on the Wolfman and has done a lot of facials and masks and really kick-ass stuff. Rick Baker's a classic as well, but damn good movie. Chris Barrett said 80s ruined horror. Like, come on, man, we had some pretty good stuff in the 80s. I mean, some of the IPs like the Freddys and the Jasons and all that shit. I like that. That was some 80s classics, you know.
I would say, honestly, I'd say like the early 2000s really
Yeah.
hurt horror. If
Now,
you want to
I
talk,
like
if you
90s
want to
too.
talk about, if you want to talk about a like 10-year decade or whatever that
Mhm.
really hurt horror as a genre, I would say the early 2000s really
Yeah.
hurt horror as a genre. 2000 to 2010, we had a lot of remakes. We had a lot of like really light kind of like sequels, prequels type bullshit.
Mhm.
Nothing really original. And I mean like let's put the Black Christmas from, I think it's 2006. Let's set that one
No.
aside. I protect that one. That one's my sweet baby child. But let's talk about some of the things like the remake of Friday the 13th from 2009.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. And even to the same degree, let's talk about the remake and the prequel for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mhm.
And some of the prequels for that. I mean, let's talk about like the beginning. Let's talk about Leatherface from that same, like, it's technically like the same kind of like stance at that time and everything. And it's like,
Yeah.
were those really decent films? Were they really respectful of their source material? Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, we've got things like Hatchet, which its big marketing ploy was it was its own original thing, but we didn't have a lot of original content in the horror genre at the time. We had a lot of prequels, we had a lot of sequels, we had a lot of really bad remakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those remakes, they was sucky. I've got those chainsaws and I need to rewatch them, but the Jessica Biel chainsaw, the thing about it was just too damn close to the original, and still the original was better. I mean, it was really close. You know, they're all driving and blah blah blah, and then they pick up the guy. I mean, just too, it just doesn't work. Now that New Beginning, I have to go back and watch because it was so bad I never finished it. I got about halfway through it, and I just fell asleep. I got it on DVD.
So the beginning to me
Mhm.
is the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that I don't actually own.
Oh wow!
And a big part of that is I disliked it so much. I hated it so much
Yeah.
when it came out. I actually hate the beginning more than I hate Next Generation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the
I
Generation.
like the Matthew McConaughey with the electrified leg screaming about the Illuminati and eating pizza instead of people more than I like the beginning.
Mhm.
We're just gonna put that right there, just because I don't like the beginning. I don't think it's really well done. I don't like the family in that trilogy of films. I don't think it's. I know a lot of people that hate the Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is a
I need
direct
to watch
sequel to the original. And I know a lot of people that hate that. That's the Alexander Daddario, version of it.
Did you like that movie?
I actually like that movie. I know a lot of people that hate it. I know it's pretty cut down the line of people that either love that movie or hate that movie.
Mhm.
And I think there's certain issues with the timing of that movie because they don't know what decade they're in.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, is it current timelines or does it take place in the 90s? If it takes place in the 90s, it makes more sense. If it takes place in the 2000s, however, and you're chasing around a 20-something-year-old who was born in the 70s, it makes no sense whatsoever. I think there's a few things that they could change very easily, like changing out cell phones for flashlights and, changing out...
The most recent.
I no, the most recent one is Leatherface.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the second Leatherface, not the Leatherface, the third film.
The third movie, yeah.
No. But with the speak and spell and everything, which I love on its own. There's a whole reason why I love that one. But I'll tell you, there's a few little things that they could fix on the Texas Massacre 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And even in this area, I mean, here are, whoever's in charge of the theaters here, they don't like horror movies. So I remember when that came out, there was a huge protest and everything against it because, apparently they're going to rot the minds of the youth. So it was only in theaters for about 2 days, and they only had altogether, I think, about 5 showings, and then it was done. It was completely taken out of theaters here. That was pretty crazy, and they don't show horror movies in our theaters.
I got that movie.
Very long.
I got that movie over there, Blu-ray 3D.
Yeah,
I watched that with my 3D glasses. I ain't watched it yet, but one of these days it's going to be.
You need to watch it. It's good. There's a moment where there's a moment where he throws that chainsaw.
Ooh, shit! Mortal Kombat 10 style.
You're gonna duck.
Damn. I like, does he throw it and the damn thing starts going like that, like turning? Oh, that'd be a damn good
And it's
one
like the chain will come right at you.
Oh, shit.
You gotta duck.
So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to watch that. I hope my TV in here, people will be like, why ain't you got 4K, Legend? Why ain't you got 4K? Why don't you have a 95-inch? And blah, blah, blah. So, dude, I want my little 55-inch to last because they don't make 3D TVs in America no more. And I got my 3D Blu-rays over here, But hey, you know what, Mark? I think okay. So we did the Kung Pao Enter the Fist. We did the Pit. We did the Twins of Evil. Now it's back to Mark's turn.
We did Ouija Shark. Don't forget Ouija Shark.
When did we already? We watched Ouija Shark last week, didn't we?
Yep.
Dude,
So Mark,
I forgot about a Ouija Shark already.
It is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to select? What are you going to put up for review on Is It That Bad?
Is American Mary that bad?
I actually think American Mary is one of the best horror movies made in the last 20 years. Personally,
Let's watch it. Or we could find more bad ones.
I mean, you can pick it. It's your movie.
Yeah, I think we should do that one.
All right. So, American Mary, directed by the Twisted Twins.
All
Which we still need to sign up for Elevator.
So, the Twisted Twins, the creators of Elevator, they've written for Marvel Comics. They've done everything from, of course, American Mary to See No Evil with Kane. Oh yeah, yep. It's on Shudder in case you're interested.
All right, American Mary, people.
I got it on Blu-ray. That's how
Mhm.
much I love this movie. I'm gonna tell you right now, Ledge. This is one of my favorite movies.
All right, hell yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
There's a lot going into it. We got Catherine Isabel as the star of this film.
Catherine Isabel.
It's got everything from body dysmorphia to I mean, there's a lot of like surgical horror. I mean, we've got the living Barbie doll is a part of this.
It's on Shudder, people. American Mary. Looks like it got 5 stars too. A lot of fans.
It's a very good movie. It's a very good movie.
As far as Twins of Evil go, I'm gonna still say, let's see, dude, that a Ouija shark. I'm trying to see. I kind of like the Pit. I thought the Ouija shark, man, that was pretty bad.
I think out of this season so far, I think Ouija Shark has been the worst film.
Yeah,
Personally,
I'm going with the Ouija shark as well. I thought that was just
I think
awful.
Twins of Evil was a really fun movie. I think it was well done. It had good acting.
I'm sorry if like I didn't know if I was supposed to like put like really shitty ones on here. I just like guessed, and this was like a good movie. I like this.
You
movie.
were thinking Twins.
Yeah. Like, hey.
You're thinking, ooh, Twins.
Yeah. You know, when you got twins in the picture, there's always going to be something going on in a good horror movie.
But so out of this season so far, the movie to beat is Ouija Shark.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does that mean this season I'm still the reigning champion, like I was last season?
I think so.
Last season, I mean, Chris Barrett, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe I was the reigning champion last season with some Hogzilla. Untouchable, was I? What? What? And am I still untouchable with the Ouija shark? What?
Ouija shark, you
Miss Sunday night.
Shark.
Oh yeah.
Damn straight.
My boy Chris has got me.
Chris Barrett, not only does he got you, I think he's got a little Frida in him.
Dude, Frida was funny. Frida was funny in this. I felt bad for Maria.
Yeah, Maria kind of got left behind a lot of times. I thought they got both equal screen time, but for Frida, I bet Frida had a lot more time, had a better time playing her evil character, you know.
I think that Frida's character just kind of got sussed out a lot more, where Maria's character, like, yeah, even the guys were more interested in her. Yeah, it's because Maria was literally just there as insert pretty girl to stand in a corner and just be quiet. You know, Frida was a lot more independent. She didn't care. She was bold. She was a little wild. And back in those days, that would not be something to necessarily be admired, because more likely you're going to get burned at the stake back then. You'd either be called a witch or a vampire or a seductress or something back then.
All those people. He burned all those people like he killed all those people on Princess Leia's home planet of Alderaan. That Peter Cushing. But yeah, it was just a good movie overall. So I'm excited to see this Queen Mary. What's her name again? American Mary?
Okay, so American Mary. It's so she's a medical student named Mary. And it's basically all the stuff that happens to her. So starving medical student, you know, she's trying to work a dead-end job, trying to make ends meet, put herself through medical school. All her stuff's getting shut off. All this stuff's happening. And she ends up kind of getting involved a little bit in the underworld. not like, Hades kind of underworld, but dealing with like, some shady characters, some like slightly below the line of the law type things. And then a lot of stuff happens.
Damn.
And I'm not going to spoil this film for you. If you've never seen it before, I would highly suggest you watch it. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm actually surprised that Mark has decided that this should be on Is It That Bad? I'm a little upset that he put this on Is It That Bad? Because Is It That Bad in my mind? No, I think this is a fantastic film, and not like in a crazy fantastic way. It's got the Soka sisters. They're actually in this as well. They're in it. They're the devil twins or the demonic twins in this. But there's a lot of surgical horror in this, which freak a lot of people out. You gotta be ready for the gore in this.
Some cutting and some bleeding.
There's a lot of slicing. There's a lot of slicing that's gonna take place in this movie. So get ready.
Slicing and dicing. Well, fans, I think we're gonna have to be slicing and dicing out here, because we've been going on strong, and we don't want to be too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and I want to throw it to Kat Wren. Kat, again, thank you so much. We had always a good time here, and you take us out, my friend.
All right. So like Frida, my friends, we gotta cut it. But that is it for this episode of Is It That Bad? Twins of Evil. Was it that bad, my friends? No, it was a lot of fun, actually. I would highly suggest you watch this movie. Was it dated? Yeah. Did we have fun? Yeah. Heck yes. All right. So next episode, American Mary, available on the Shutters. Is it that bad? We shall see. Of course, I would highly suggest you go ahead and watch it before you hang out with us next Sunday. But if you don't want to and you just want to hang out with the three of us, we got the legend. We got the Mark BKR. He might be eating. We never know. Of course, I'm here. I'm going to be talking about some movies. I'm going to be ready to go. Legend's going to be ready to go. We're going to have some fun, aren't we, Ledge?
It's going to be freaking awesome.
I mean, are we going to defeat the crown that is Ouija Shark this season? I highly doubt it, but we shall see. We shall see. Until next time, guys, give us a like, all that, check out individual channels, all that. And we'll see you next Sunday here on the Comic Core for Is It That Bad? Where we talk about American Mary. All right. Have a good one, guys. Night.
And